Hey everyone, my name is Ryan and I'm not that smart, but I know somebody who is. Today we're talking to John Speed, head of Chainguard Labs here at Chainguard. John Speed, how do you do?
Great, thanks so much for having me here. Nice to meet all of you.
Awesome. Today we're going to answer the question, what's the true cost of vulnerability management? Let's get right into it. What's the true cost of vulnerability management?
Yeah, a lot of people think that it's just about security. It's about securing the software that you and your customers depend upon. But what we looked into recently at Chainguard Labs is actually the time cost of vulnerability management. How much time it takes people in your organization to identify, triage, and manage vulnerabilities.
So it's not just a money type of thing, it's a time and expense on many different verticals or like angles.
That's right. It's also about productivity. It's about the productivity of skilled software engineers at your organization. Do you want them digging through old, out-of-date documentation about vulnerabilities, trying to fix their software, or do you want them writing new features that make you money?
Right on. All right, John Speed, did you do any research about this?
We did. At Chainguard Labs, we conducted an interview study that we call the true cost of vulnerability management.
Right on. Did you get any numbers or hours from the folks that you talked to?
We did. We interviewed about 10 software professionals who do vulnerability management with containers as part of their daily job. And we found that typically organizations are spending several thousand hours a year on vulnerability management alone.
Wow. Anybody that was not typical or unique?
There was one organization that was spending around 20,000 hours a year on vulnerability management. That's about 10 full-time staff per year, full-time job. It's expensive. So yeah, a big outlier.
Was there anything special about that group that you noticed different amongst the other folks that you spoke to?
Yeah, they were particularly security conscious. They were concerned about two things in particular. One is they were worried about exploit chaining. Lots of minor vulnerabilities being strung together, leading to a compromise. So they wanted to get rid of even minor vulnerabilities. The second thing is that they were just heavily regulated. So they cared more about government regulations than other organizations.
Got it. What sorts of things in the vulnerability management world for security conscious organizations might slow folks down?
Yeah, there's a couple of factors we stumbled upon. One is that if you have problems testing and upgrading your software, you find that painful, you're going to have problems fixing vulnerabilities too. It's going to take longer, it's going to be more tedious, error prone. I kind of call this the DevOps theory of vulnerability management. If you're bad at DevOps, you're going to be bad at vulnerability management. The second thing is that it can just take it can be hard to predict how much time a given vulnerability is going to take to triage. And given that uncertainty, it can just really blow up your planned work.
Do you think these companies see downstream effects from what they're doing and what they're receiving, trying to make sense of all of this?
I do. I actually think there's a software supply chain security problem embedded in how containers are shipped and built right now. The vulnerabilities in your containers that you then ship to your containers, they're not only your problems, they're your customers' problems too. And all those parties are scanning them, creating work for everyone. So there's not only a security problem being passed around the supply chain, there's a time management, a time suck being passed around the supply chain too.
How are vulnerability management practices costing companies money?
Yeah, there's two ways. One is just the direct staff time of your staff triaging, identifying, managing vulnerabilities every day. If you have a couple people doing that full time, that's their salary. So it's a serious cost, but I actually think it's bigger than that. It's really about the time that you are not shipping features, the time that you're giving up where you can't focus on the product roadmap and you can't focus on the future.
So you're saying outside of time and the money for these people's salaries, it's those lost shipped features because of them doing other things adjacent to probably what everyone would prefer that they do.
That's right. It's you giving up velocity in exchange for toil.
Oh, got it. Well, there you have it. Now I can accurately talk about vulnerability management, the time, toil, energy, and costs associated with it just a little bit better. Thanks so much, John Speed. Before you go, what's your favorite aquatic animal?
I like lionfish.
Why is that?
They're scary.
That's Get Smart in 5 Minutes with Ryan O'Daniel and John Speed. Thanks, we'll see you soon.